Hey everyone, Michael from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. So that's right, we've got the return of technical analysis, which is going to be lots of fun, but also it's being done by one of our newer members of the team. So Andrew joined us only last week, and he put his hand up and said, actually, you know what? I quite enjoy doing technical analysis. And Andrew's been doing it for quite a long time. He's qualified in all sorts of things, but we won't mention that here. But he's a little bit camera shy, so you'll see that the whole technical analysis has been done behind the camera almost, with the graphs and the charts and that sort of thing. And we will convince Andrew to step in front of the camera in the next few weeks and do a proper interview. But he's got a good history in technical analysis, knows his stuff. So watch the video in its entirety. So for those who don't know technical analysis, he's not so much looking at the fundamentals or the reason why I'd buy it because I like gold because of investment purposes and that type of stuff. It's more looking at the trends behind it. So increases, decreases of price or supplies. It will look at, whether we're hitting certain bands. So it's at the upper range of its band or it's down the bottom of its band and it's about to bounce back up. Those types of discussions. And they're far more price-based or price history-based and psychologically based, if you like. So it's certainly well worth a view. Again, you've got to remember that with all these things, it's not financial advice. This isn't set in concrete. We don't have a crystal ball, but it's just an idea of what we're thinking and how we're behaving to a degree. We're adapting our buying habits and those sorts of things around some of these things. So watch it with that in mind. And again, it's not technical advice. All right, enjoy it. Here it is.
Hello, my name is Andrew. Hope you've all had a good weekend. I am a new member of Bullion Now. I'm just going to be doing a short video looking at some charts. So just want to say that, as you all know, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. And let's jump right into some gold on the daily time frame. As we all know, we've had a pretty decent move last week, post FOMC. And where are we now? 1760, probably potentially looking for a little bit more continuation out of this, or could just be pulling back now, potentially front-running the CPI numbers. I believe they're coming out on the 10th of August at about 10:30 p.m. And if we look up, if I go here and look at some commodity index, the numbers from July were a lot lower than the ones in June. And also looking at some oil, the numbers were also a bit lower in July than they were in June, which means I'd probably be looking for the CPI number to be lower on that read for July, which could be bullish for the markets going forward. But as I said, I would be looking for some people to front run that news and probably sell the rumor and then buy the news. And targets we'd be looking for if we were to drop probably be down to this 17.25 area, 17.10, and potentially down to this 1700. If it gets that low before continuation, probably looking up to that 1870 region, maybe even that sort of $1860 area, which would probably be more evident on the weekly time frame, with a move somewhere up to that sort of area, in this sort of area here between that 1870, probably pushing up through that 1810 level. Now, what I really want to focus on is silver. And probably looking for some sort of, some resistance here, and probably looking for some, as I said, that front running that that CPI news down to that sort of $18 sort of $19 sort of region, down to that $18.50 area. If it does drop that low, and then for further continuation. And I just want to have a look at silver on the 2 weekly time frame. I've got some some Bollinger Bands here, a MACD and a BBWP, which is Bollinger Bands with percentile. And then when there's a lot of volatility, the Bollinger Bands will expand, and the Bollinger Bands with percentile will be showing sort of some extreme levels as it gets high, and then you'll be showing these sort of contracting down levels when there's not a lot of volatility in the market. So what I want to look at, I was sort of targeting this sort of $18 area with the expansion of volatility. And generally when we get that, probably looking for a quick sort of snap back in the price while volatility's high. If we look back at some previous iterations here, you can see that as volatility's high, you get that kind of pullback down to that median line sort of area. And again, you know, volatility's quite high here, and then we get that pullback down to that median line, and again here. And we can see that here as well. So what I'm looking at is when, if we look at some of these previous ones, that when we take out that sort of previous open on that last candle there, we take that out, and that's where we're looking for the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks up to that median line. So if we have a look at this one, we've taken out that previous open there with this nice closing green candle here. We've got that open, probably a little bit of a pullback here before we've got that FOMC coming up. There's not one in August, I believe, but there will be one in mid-September, which is probably a good thing for the markets. And I would be looking for this as we've got that open there. You've also got the MACD curling around, which will, you know, as you can see here, once you get that MACD crossing, you take out that candle and you get that sort of nice move up to this sort of probably targeting that $22.50 area, maybe $22.30. Yeah, and that's about it there. So also after if it plays out and we get to that sort of $22.50 area, there's obviously a lot of support there, flipped as resistance. I'll be looking for this volatility to drop, and probably a lot of chop in here. And once that cools off, you can see that when the volatility from the bottom, when it expands, you sort of get that sort of 6 weeks of price movement in that direction. You can see here as it's bottomed out and we open up, you kind of get that follow through. Again here, it expands, you get sort of follow through. And I'm sure there's plenty of other ones. When it expands, you get that follow through. So once we sort of get this move up to here, chop around for a fair while, I'd imagine. I would be looking for direction after we've cooled off down to this sort of blue area here, and then once we expand, I'll be looking for which direction, whether we're going to go up or down from there. And that's about all I have today. If you found something interesting there, give us a like, and thanks for listening.